Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft video, and today's video we are going to be finding out which map is the fastest and which map you should be playing on if you want to get fast games and level up quickly. I'll see you in the video. Okay, so since we're going off the fastest maps and I didn't feel like making a bracket with more than 16 slots because you have to add a text box for each one, these are the maps that just were too long to make it into the top 16. Biohazard, Cascade, Cliffside, Inca, Orbit, Pernicious, Siege, Amazon, and Toro. So Glacier and Airshow are about equal, I would say, for length generally, but Airshow's diamond generator is much easier to access, and getting to other bases besides your first rush on Airshow is much easier, so Airshow wins the first round. Okay, next up is Apollo and Ashfire, and I'm gonna say that Apollo will win this round. The reason I'm saying this, guys, is because Apollo, again, has much easier access to diamond generators and is just an overall faster map with access to other bases besides your first rush. It's basically just a clone of Airshow if you really think about it. Whereas Ashfire, you either go diagonal behind you or in front of you, and then it's a longer rush, it's a 48 block rush. So I'm gonna say Apollo wins this round. Okay, next up, guys, is Lighthouse versus Waterfall. Now, this is a tough one because both maps are really good maps and they're quick rushes, but Lighthouse will win this one because it has a 32 block rush, so you can get to bases faster, whereas Waterfall is a 48 block rush. Now, Steampunk and Orchestra. Both maps are decent. I wouldn't say they're my favorite maps, but they're both 48 block rushes, and the diamond gens are both situated pretty well. So I'm gonna go off mid layout. So I think Steampunk has a better mid layout with the emerald gens completely surrounding mid, whereas Orchestra there's four and it's on like the cardinal directions of mid. So I'm gonna say that Steampunk will move on to the next round of elimination. Okay guys, 12 teams left. Done with the left side of the first bracket. So Rooftop versus Skyrise. Interesting lineup here. So they're both very similar maps. They both have diamond gens in the middle of your first rush, so you can get them on the way or once you're done with your first rush, which I do like. Mid-wise, I think that Rooftop has the better mid with emerald gens beneath in the buildings. I think that is a really cool idea, and it does make it slightly faster because you can hop between the windows. So Rooftop will be winning this round. Speedway and Crypt. Well, these two maps are pretty high up on my list. I'd give them both an 8 out of 10 actually, so they're not the best, but they are really decent. So Crypt is a 32 block rush, which is very convenient for rushing and getting fast games, whereas Speedway is a 48 block rush, and the diamond gen is situated in the same spot. Mid is different on Speedway, and it's lower, and it makes it longer. So I'm gonna say that Krypt wins this round because it's the 32 block rush, and then mid is all on the same level, so it makes it quicker. Lightstone and Gateway. Okay, so these two maps are actually really similar to each other. Both have 48 block rushes and diamond gens that are easy to access after your first rush. However, mid on Lightstone is multi-level, which does make it a little bit slower to collect emeralds than Gateway. So Gateway will win this round and move on to the final 8. Okay guys, last bracket to fill before we're at the final 8 of our contesters. Zarzuul versus Solace. Now Zarzuul has a very quick generator, which would put it pretty high up on the list. However, it is a 64 block rush to get to your first base, and diamond gen is a diagonal speed bridge behind you. So I'm gonna give Solace the win here because Solace is a 32 block rush and is very similar to Lighthouse actually. So we'll move that one up to the final 8. Okay guys, first mashup of the final 8. Here we go. Airshow versus Apollo. Now Airshow, like we said before, is a very good map. It's a 48 block rush, but diamond gen is in a decent place, and mid is on different levels, so medium. I'd give Airshow like a medium. And then Apollo is pretty much like Airshow, actually. It's very similar, except mid is a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to give Airshow the win here, and Airshow will move on to the final 4. Steampunk versus Lighthouse. Steampunk is a backwards diagonal rush to your first base for the quickest rush. However, you can also do a 64 block rush instead of a 48 block rush to go straight through the diamond gen and to your next base. And that's just not a very good block number for a very slow generator like Steampunk. Whereas Lighthouse is a 32 block rush, same generator speed, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, much quicker games. So Lighthouse will easily take the dub here and move on to the final four. Rooftop versus Krypt. Okay, so this matchup I'm really excited about because both are decent maps. I'd say they're really similar, actually, to just the mechanics in general. Krypt is flatter and shorter rushes, so it will be taking the win as a quicker map and a better map. Sorry, Rooftop. And then Gateway versus Solace will wrap up our final 8, and we'll move on to the final 4. Okay, so Gateway is a 48 block rush, and mid is kind of a pain. Solace is a 32 block rush, mid is still a pain, but diamond gens are closer. So I'm gonna have Solace move on to the next round. Okay guys, we're down to the final 4. These are the 4 best maps in my opinion, and if you guys have different opinions, by the way, you can comment them down below. I'll be sure to check them out. But Airshow versus Lighthouse. Now this is a really tricky one actually. Airshow may be a 48 block rush, whereas Lighthouse is a 32 block, as we've talked about, but Airshow does have better diamond gen placement in my opinion because you go through diamond gen on your first rush if you're rushing the correct way. And I think these are really even actually. But then mid on Airshow is multi-level and Lighthouse is also multi-level, but the Lighthouse gives you a good viewpoint and action point if you have fireballs or anything. So I'm going to give Lighthouse the win and it will move on to the championship round. Our last final 4 matchup, Krypt versus Solace. Okay, so these two maps, Solace is a 32 block rush, Krypt is also a 32 block rush. If I'm being general here, I do, in my opinion, like Krypt more, but that doesn't affect the fastness of games. So I'll be looking at the fastness. Is that even a word? Okay, never mind. Well, Krypt has a pretty even mid. It's fun to get emeralds, and diamonds are easy to access. And Krypt versus Lighthouse will match up in the final game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come down to the final 2 maps, in my opinion. Okay, so, Lighthouse versus Krypt. This is gonna be a fun one, because both are 32 block rushes. These are probably my 2 favorite maps. And they are very fast games if you know how to play them correctly. So mid on Lighthouse is less flat, whereas on Krypt it's nice and flat. And since they're both 32 block rushes, I think Krypt is the rightful owner of the Bedwars map crown. Okay, so that concludes the bracket of fastest map and best map. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you disagree or have a different opinion, make sure to leave it down in the comments down below. I'll make sure to read every single one. If you want, you can subscribe or leave a like. I mean, if you liked it, or if you really liked it, you can sub. I'm not here to force you though, so have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.